Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. Today we are taking a look at Tour Operator, which is coming to Kickstarter either right now or soon. The link will be down below. Let's take a look how Tour Operator plays, give it an overview, and then come back and I will tell you what I think. So this is a quick look at Tour Operator. These are prototype components, particularly the wooden cubes are going to change to cardboard chits to show exactly what they do. In Tour Operator, you will be drafting tourists, paying attention to how long they wish to stay for, how happy they are, and what kind of attractions they would like to see. There is also some that require certain rooms or can be used in certain rooms at a hotel or require certain seats on the plane. You will draft tourists into your tourist office and then attempt to fly them to the best destination city. Tourists that go into a dirty chair, one that hasn't been able to be cleaned, will cost you victory points. And tourists that don't meet their requirements for business class will also cost you victory points. After flying to a city and scoring the relevant points for the visitors you have flown in, you will then take your visitors and place them in the hotel. You cannot place visitors into a dirty room, so if the room has been dirty, you will not be able to place the visitor and they will get angry, losing you 3 points. You will mark the duration of their stay and then take them on a nighttime activity. In this case there's only a choice of one, so we will mark that off on one of the bonus score charts. The first person to score a row will get the equivalent points. Any tourists that are still waiting in the waiting room will have their patience decreased. If they become angry, they will leave and you will lose 3 points. But to placate them, you can give them a voucher. The black cubes are fuel and they are used to fly to different cities. In a 2-player game, the cities are laid out in a 4x4 grid. And you must pay a fuel for each city you move onto or over. So, for example, if I start here and move there, that is 1 fuel. To move to one of these two would be 2. You cannot move diagonally. Once you've done a nighttime activity in a city, you will flip it over and that city is no longer able to be used. Planes of opposing companies cannot land in the same city. You will carry this on for a set amount of rounds depending on the player count, and at the end of the game the player who has collected the most score on their plane sheet will win the game. To get the resources you're going to be using in the game, you will roll the dice which give you any of the resources, a free choice or a choice of employees. Employees come in 2 different flavours. You can have up to 3, a pilot, a tourist operator and a hotel manager. If they have this symbol on, they are a permanent power that you can use at the appropriate time. If they have a bin symbol on, they are a one-use power. That is a very quick guide to Tour Operator. So Tour Operator is a really nice game of resource management is what it boils down to. There's a bit of dice rolling to get your resources, but how you use those and how you manipulate them to achieve your purposes is really, really clever. At 2-player there is less interaction because there's less competition for the spaces, but you're on a smaller board of city spaces, those cards that you put out. But it's still, you're so engrossed in your plane and your hotel and can you get the seats clean and hotels being clean is more important than planes, so can you sacrifice a couple of victory points to get what you want? And there's a nice layering of ways to get victory points, from choosing the right city to match your tourists' preferences, to the kind of sub-game of the evening activities and being the first to tick off those lists. And it works really, really well. I thought the game was going to be a lot lighter than it was, and maybe that's because of the artwork, the promotional artwork that's been on display. In the version I've been using, it's a heavy and early prototype, but the artwork is getting there on the cards, but there's some placeholder ones on some. But where the artwork is finished, it looks really, really good. And that kind of tricked me in thinking it was going to be a slightly lighter game than it is, because there is this thinkiness. You have to think about it, because the way the rounds are ordered, you get your resources before you clear out your rooms. Now I quite like that, because it means you have to look, right, that person's leaving that room, that person's leaving that room, which is all tracked via wooden discs at the minute. So I'll have 2 rooms, so I only need to take 2 people on the aeroplane, and therefore I don't need to clean everything this time, and that sort of thing. And so there I can go further on the plane, so I'll take more black cubes, and they're going to be unhappy, so I'll take a coupon. And we found it, yeah, that might slow the game down a bit, I guess, because you're having to look and make judgments. But we found that quite satisfying and quite frustrating in the good way that games can be frustrating, because you're looking to combat all those situations. The employees work really well, some being one use, which are more powerful than the permanent ones. There's just a nice flow to the game. If I had a complaint, it would be, and this, I don't know how you get around this, so I feel a bit unfair on saying it, but you are tracking a lot of things with cubes and wooden discs. In the final game, that's going to be tokens rather than those wooden cubes, which show exactly what they are, which will help with speed, but still, you know, you're tracking everything. If the table gets knocked, you know, things can go off. Thankfully, it's never that hard to remember where they were, because you're tracking 3 weeks or the happiness of a tourist, so it's not too bad, but it is there. There is that fiddliness and that setup where you just get given a mound of things and you're like, all right. But ultimately we found that playing the game made those things worth it. So if you like resource management with quite a unique theme, I've not seen a game about doing the whole kind of sending people on an aeroplane and the package holiday kind of thing, then this is well worth checking out. We've had a ton of fun with Tour Operator. Thanks very much for watching Board, Deck and Dice. We will see you next time.